I did a PowerPoint of everything I watched in April. Obviously, it's not over, which is why part 1 and 3 also lets me yap about these a bit more. Since it's probably going to be roughly over 30, I'm going to talk about some not as long as others, but you know. Stir of Echoes, it was pretty good. The notes on the left are just what I thought about when I was watching it, so some of them might not make that much sense. I would say to watch it if you're a fan of super 90s stuff. If you want good atmosphere and tension, this is the one. I think it kind of got overshadowed by The Sixth Sense, which I don't see the comparisons other than it involves ghosts and children. That's literally the only thing I can really say these two had in common. It's not nearly as good as The Sixth Sense, but it's still good. But I don't think I would recommend it to someone that doesn't like horror movies. So this was something a bit out of my taste. So it didn't hit as much as it would have for other people. Remember, I told some people I watched it and they told me that it would make me cry. I don't know what part they're talking about, genuinely. It was a really good movie. I think the best part is that you can kind of make your own theories about the end, and probably just in general, but the ending really opens it to a lot of opportunities that I don't think most movies try to do. I think you can kind of just recommend this to anyone. I think this is an anyone movie, and it's an anyone movie that's actually really good. There's a rewatch of Us, which I watched around when it came out, I think. It was long enough for me to actually forget mostly everything that happens other than who won at the end. If you like any other Jordan Peele movie, you'll like this because it still has that consistency and comedy. And it doesn't break the tension at all, because I feel like they're both timed very well. My only flaw is that it does kind of pull its punches a bit. It does feel like they were holding back a lot, especially on some scenes. But this is the first thing on the list. I think I gave it a 5 out of 5, so it's a very small nitpick, but it is one that kind of stuck with my head throughout the whole movie. This is just another Wes Craven banger. People Under the Stairs is really good. This is just good camp, very unique. I guess you can probably put in the same category as Home Invasion, but the home they're invading is the trap, which I think is really good. I'd recommend this I probably would recommend this to a horror fan rather than a general movie audience, or just someone that doesn't even watch movies that much. This is my favorite movie of the year so far, and the only one I have given a 5. Everyone I know that I have told to watch it, or everyone I know that has watched it, doesn't like it as much as me, which is fine. I don't get it, but that's fine. I think this movie is really smart. The subversion of expectations, I didn't know anything about it, so maybe the marketing made it really obvious of what the twist was going to be. The performances are really good, and what I like the most about it is that it kind of brings a discussion. I do like popcorn movies where you can just watch it, turn it off, and then that's kind of that, and just think, oh, that seems really cool. But if you're able to have people talk about something that they generally wouldn't really talk about, then I think you've done a really good job. I honestly don't really see a movie topping this for me this year. I did hear a lot about Obsession though, and just everyone just glazing that movie, so maybe I could be proven wrong. I'd like to. I can't really say the name of this one. Ironically, it does feel a bit empty. It was really funny though. It was a bit goofy at like when it needed to be. A lot of people really like the ending. I thought the ending was, it's an ending, but for a lot of people it made them really happy, which I'm glad it did. But for me personally, it was okay. I said maybe because of the topic and just that it's not art house, but it's very weird. So I don't know who you would really recommend this to. I liked it. I just wish there was a bit more. Ex Machina, which was apparently the director's first movie, is actually crazy because of how good it actually is. My only flaw was that the lead character was a bit bland. A lot of people say that was done on purpose just because you can insert yourself into it, but I feel like that's just an excuse to have a bland character. You can kind of have an all-rounder character and still kind of insert yourself into the story. or just have an immersive enough story to make you sort of insert yourself into it, which this did. The best part about this was the ending, 100%. I said aged well, but it's only, I think, only a decade old, so I don't think it's more about the CGI, just about the topics it's discussing. And I actually have no idea how they did the design for the robot, because it's not, it could be CGI, but I don't think this really had that sort of budget for there to be CGI, so I'm assuming it's a mixture of practical and small bits of CGI. I could be wrong. I would recommend this if you want something to sort of mess with your mind and something to sort of think about. I saw this at 2 a.m. and I instantly sort of went on to what people thought about it and the message and everything. Okay, this was the only movie I think I watched this month that I didn't like. No, there's others, but this was it was so bad. The main lead role was really good, but she had to do so much carrying that I don't think it worked out in the end. I like the idea, but I feel like this could have been a 40-minute movie, because it's just a whole bunch of cliches and nothing happening. I get that the scene in the end is meant to be, you don't see what happens, so your mind makes its own conclusions, which is such an overdone cliche because they don't know how to actually make it scary, other than just making it seem like, oh, we don't have the budget to actually show this, so we're just gonna make you think about what's going on right now. Again, I saw this in an early screening, which I'm really biased with early screenings because the crowd's there and it's a bit fun to not know what you're in for and then watch something really good, but this was not really good. It wasn't good. But some people I know that I follow like it. I said not to recommend it, but maybe give it a go. But this is very polarizing. You're either going to really like it or really not, apparently. This was a good movie. Monster. This was based on a true story, and the only thing I wrote on the positives was not positive, but the only thing I wrote was the performances, which is really the only thing I can think about. Because I knew what was going to happen in the story, because I know the actual story it's based on. Still managed to sort of blow me away a little bit. The costume design, the dialogue. It's an almost perfect movie. I don't know why I didn't give it a 5, like thinking about it, but this was really good. Very underrated. This is something I kind of planned to watch with one of my friends for a long time. I thought it was good. It kind of seemed like a downgrade from Batman the Animated Series. And also, the last Batman movie I watched was Phantasm, which I think is just a good movie in general. I think it's my favorite superhero movie of all time. So my expectations were maybe a bit too high, because it doesn't have the same style, it doesn't have the same composer. But I still think it was pretty good. The Robin backstory was pretty messed up. Probably the only part that I could say was like genuinely just really good. The rest was just okay. And I said yes if you like Batman, which sounds very like, yeah, obviously. But I think you can recommend Phantasm to someone that doesn't even like superhero movies, and I'll bet they'll have a good time, because I used to watch only MCU movies when I was really young, and now I can't watch superhero movies now, or that often. Like, I really wanted to watch Superman. I was really hyped for it because I wanted a comic accurate Superman movie, which, I mean, there is, but not a modern one. So I was really excited that James Gunn was gonna do it justice, because I do trust him. He's made good movies. He's made Lollipop Chainsaw. Like, he's never really disappointed me. So I knew it was gonna be good, and I've still yet to watch it, even though I was keeping up on the updates when it was being released, and I know when I watch it, I am eventually going to like it. Crash. This is a movie I did not like that much. If you're talking about the score and the opening, that is 10 out of 10, and the cinematography, obviously. It's a Cronenberg movie, but in terms of the plot, I didn't really care, like, at all. But I know this is well liked, but the people that don't like it are very vocal about it. And then I watched Dead Ringers because I needed to remind myself that Cronenberg is one of the GOATs, and I was reminded of that. This isn't my favorite. My favorite is still Videodrome, and I don't think it's going to be beaten. Probably not. The performances, the twins, it's one of the best twin performances I've seen. And again, it has a really good score and a good opening. I did hear that there is a TV show. I might watch it. Okay. I had it in my save for a while, but I never really knew when to watch it. I don't know what kind of tone it was going for. I decided to watch it. I can't even remember what the situation was, but I know I watched it no, I watched it late. I did eventually get to watching it, but I thought it was good. The beginning was really good. The second act was okay, and the third act picked up again. It's nothing crazy, but I still think it's a pretty good movie. And if you like horror movies, I would say to watch it. I think this can kind of be for everyone. I kind of forgot what exactly I said was gross in... I forgot specifically what was gross, but I just remember there was a scene that was pretty gross. I can't remember what exactly, but a fair warning, considering my tolerance is kind of high. I did hear the sequels suck, so I'm just not gonna watch that. Okay, so this was my second rewatch of Final Destination, so I've seen it 3 times now. Now this was a movie that I kind of had a major comeback with, because the more I watch it, the more I like it. This is the most Final Destination a Final Destination movie can be, and it's probably one of the best comebacks in a franchise I've seen in a while, and I can't wait for the 7th one. My only flaw is that they killed the best character too early. There was some lines that were a bit messy. I did hear some people didn't like the third act. I thought it was good. I think the highlight of this whole movie is just Tony Todd in that one scene. Especially if you know the context of why he's saying that. It makes it even worse. There's like 2 layers of it. And I am scared of what the next movie can hold, because I don't think there really is a Final Destination movie without Tony Todd. Ooh, go back. Okay, so this was a movie that I was gonna watch on Christmas, but I was not really sure on what I was gonna think about it, considering I had to pay for it. But one of my friends has a Shudder subscription, and I kind of shared that. And then I watched it in the middle of April. And I really regret not watching this on Christmas, because this is a movie made for me. The general ratings in general are pretty... The average ratings in general are pretty low. I might not recommend it in good faith, but I loved it, personally. I feel like a lot of the topics and the characters were just... This was made for me. So I don't think there was a way I was going to... I don't think there was a way I was going to dislike it. Like, I think as someone that's watched so many slashers, I wanted a fun... I wouldn't say it's campy, but it's more of like a comedy that's semi-taking itself seriously when it wants to be. And this was exactly what I wanted on that night. This is exactly what I wanted on that night. And I think this might be another Christmas watch. Like, there are good Christmas movies, but I feel like this might be my favorite. Maybe Black Christmas. I need to rewatch the original again to see what I think about it. But this was an issue for me. So if we have similar tastes, then watch it. If we don't, you might hate it, so I would just say not to. Okay, this was another movie I watched on Shudder. Apparently there's a sequel, but I couldn't find the original movie. But it kind of describes everything that happens anyways. And after watching it, I really want to watch the original, but I can't find a place to watch it. This is a low budget movie, but I feel like you don't really feel that. The performances are good. The characters are a bit goofy, but obviously intentionally. Like, some of these characters are, I wouldn't say comedically obnoxious, but they're obnoxious to the point where they're obviously caricatures of specific people online, like streamers and stuff. And I feel like when you tackle stuff like that, it can either come across as really out of touch and a bit dated. I feel like when you try to talk about modern topics or stuff about the internet, really, it usually comes across as out of touch or corny, which this one didn't. I feel like this did a good job at not making it timeless, but making it very obvious about what time period it's meant to be. I guess you could say final year, but not really, because that kind of goes kind of like the opposite, pretty much. This was a short movie, so I couldn't really say that much about it. It was just really nice. It's on YouTube and it's only 12 minutes. I would say to watch it. I don't really want to say too much because it's literally 12 minutes. Just watch it, it's 12 minutes. This was another movie I wanted to watch. I was waiting for it to have a screen release, but there was nowhere in my country that it was in the cinemas in, so I had to wait until it went on VOD. And then a couple of weeks after, it was on Shudder. After I rented it on Amazon Prime, which I'm not mad about at all. I think it was well shot, definitely. A bit generic but unique at the same time. I don't really know how to describe it. You've seen it before, but you haven't at the same time. There was nothing amazing or bad about it. It was just kind of mid. But I did like the narration at the end. At least this one wasn't tame. It was actually kind of going for a lot. And it was actually very gross, but that didn't really save it for me. Apparently people really didn't like this one. I loved it. I wouldn't say it's a 5-star movie, but it was really funny. I love the characters and the plot and this sort of dark comedy tone they were going for. I don't know what it was, but I really like that I don't know. And I would definitely recommend this, but apparently people don't like it. I don't know what exactly. This was another really good movie. This was an actual 5-star, 4.5 movie. This was peak. I've known about it for a while, but I just never actually got to watching it. But my Netflix subscription was running out, so I kind of wanted to watch everything I needed to before it ran out. And again, it's very stylish, unique, especially the score and the way it's shot. I heard a lot of people say that it's meant to sort of feel like it was shot in a Warner, which, yeah, it kind of does, with smart transitions to not make it feel like it was cut. I really like things that have messy characters because no one here is really... I can't really say anyone here is like a good person, which I love. Now, some people might have an issue with the ending considering that it doesn't spoon feed you anything. You just have to make up your mind on what you think happened. And if you want to have the most hopeful theory ever, then you can, because there's no evidence against it from what I know. And from what I can find online, there's no confirmed ending. So it literally is just up for your interpretation. And I would definitely say to watch this. I feel like this is a thing you can put on with people that don't even watch movies. This one had somewhat of a comeback in terms of popularity. I think people realize that this is a very niche type of movie. The thing with Birdman is that there are some questions answered, but with this one, a lot of things are in a whole new light, and it's definitely a watch twice type of movie. If you were sort of on the fence with how you feel about it, watch it again, and then you'll get your full answer. It is a very messed up, depressing movie, but I feel like you're sort of going to get that vibe from the first 30 minutes. Again, the performances are really good, mainly Ryan Gosling's character. So I would say to watch this if you want something to really sit with you, and if you really like open-ended movies where, again, the ending can sort of just be whatever you want. And then I watched Akira. Akira is really good, but I feel like everyone knows that. What stuck out to me the most was the animation. The animation and the world building. I feel like we could have stayed in the world a bit more until it got to the really crazy parts. I think things were a bit too fast-paced. That could just be me though. And it could just be the fact that they made such a good world, I want to see more of it. I thought the ending was okay. Nothing crazy. I would still say to watch it. I'm not sure if I would watch it again. I think it would need like a couple years, but it was still really good. And then I watched See No Evil 2. I think the only part that really stuck out was the ending. I liked the ending. If you like Daniel Harris and Catherine Isabel, then watch it. If not, then don't. There's really no point. I feel like they really carry it, but again, this is still a low budget slasher, which I like, but it was just okay. I'm probably gonna rewatch it, but I feel like there's other things I would recommend over this that literally have the same budget and the same premise. But I think since this is my comfort food, I'm a bit more lenient towards it.